Hello, hello. Welcome to Tapping Tuesday. My name is Amanda, if you don't know me yet. And if you don't know me yet, this is probably your first time. So welcome. If it's not your first time, welcome back. I have something that I want to show you guys before we get started today. And it's just purely out of silly pleasure. So I told you we went on a family trip over the holidays, and something that Olivia and I do, we find simple joy and in silly things. And we came across these headbands or earmuffs. And then I wanted one, and I just I have to show you what they do. So there's the earmuff part, but isn't that hilarious? I wanted to make you giggle, so I hope it worked. Anywho, if it's your first time, let me give you a quick rundown on what it is that we do here, and then we're going to get right into it. We do EFT tapping. It is an emotional overwhelm and trauma release technique. It's very simple. If you've never done it before or you just feel insecure on your ability to do it, you're in the right place. You're going to have it down by the end of this hour. Now, what I don't do is go into an explanation of how it works or why it works. There is a lot of scientific backing on it. It's a fantastic protocol for you to learn those bits about it, because it's really empowering to understand how and why your brain is working the way it is and how and why this release works so well. All of that is in videos on the YouTube channel, which is EFT Universe. So you can go there. There's well over 200 videos that you can watch for that. You can also always email me. My email is amanda@eftuniverse.com. And I can help direct you to whatever it is that you're looking for. But here today, you're just going to get to jump right in and experience it. It's totally safe for you to do that. The way you can participate, if you would like to, is just in the chat. It's a live chat. I check it multiple times throughout the session. I will incorporate what everybody puts in there into what we're tapping on, and I will help you understand how you can make it specific to you as we go along. And the intention is that everybody who's here gets to feel better by the end of the session. So I hope that's enough of an explanation for you to feel curious and safe enough to give it a try. If you do have functional questions, I don't ignore questions in the chat. Of course, I will answer something that you have. I just won't go into the details of the science behind the techniques. So, alrighty. I do have an email. Oh, and let me mention this. If there's something that you would like to tap on, but it feels too vulnerable for you to mention it in a live chat in front of the world, you can also email it to me and I will keep you anonymous, but we can still tap on it the following tap. But I do need about 24 hours notice just so that I'm sure that I see the email, and I don't want you to be disappointed that I don't bring it up. So just know that if it's not before like Monday afternoon, then it might be the next week before we're able to tap on it. Okay, I do have one email, and it's with a community member that we've been chatting back and forth, but I didn't actually ask if it was okay for me to say their name, so I am going to omit that. But I love what has been brought up. Pardon me. Because it is so widespread and it's something that's so pertinent for everybody. And it's trust, trusting self, trusting your body, and taking it even more baseline than that. What is trust? And what is safety? As a child, we're given certain boundaries of what both of those mean. And then as we become adults, we kind of learn that, like, well, those boundaries aren't really true. Maybe they're true as a child when you have an adult who's helping you have those, that type of protection, but it doesn't translate throughout life. So oftentimes we don't come up with other definitions and never really feel those things. So I'm super excited to jump into that with you as a tap. It's a journey that I've really dove in deep on myself, and I'm excited to offer to you what support I can for you to feel better about that. But before we do that, I'm going to say hi, and then we're going to get grounded together. Okay. Hi, Richard. Hi, Danette. I'm excited that you're here. Hi, Lauren. Snowing in Chicago. We're supposed to get snow too, but we don't have it yet. Hi, Annette. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed the earmuffs. Hi, Anya. Alrighty. Hi, beautiful Kylie. So glad that you're here. Um, Alrighty, let's go ahead and get grounded. And the way that we do this is I'm going to call out specific body parts for you to pay attention to, like your earlobes, but you don't need to touch them or look at them in the camera. It's more about feeling where they are currently right now. It's just a really gentle way of allowing your body to ground and kind of be present in your body without forcing it. Okay, so go ahead and take a breath. And let that out as a sigh. Let your body sag forward. It's okay to not have good posture just for a minute or two. We really want to give that signal of right now we're relaxing. Let's go ahead and take another breath. Alrighty. And as you're here, go ahead and draw your attention to, I'm thinking about the ears since that was my example, the inside of your ear. So not the outer edge, but that inside little pocket right before it goes inside of your head, that little scoop of ear. Where is that on the right side of your head and the left side of your head? Where are those little ear scoops? I'm sure there's a name for it. And remember to breathe. And how about your collarbones? Where are those collarbones, your clavicles? From the front edge to where it's just right in front of your throat, all the way along the front of your shoulders, out to the edge of your right shoulder, and out to the edge of your left shoulder. Where is that bone? And remember to breathe. If it were just being lit up, like something like a drip of light was sliding down your spine right now and started right at the very top of your cervical spine and just slowly dripping down and lighting up those spaces and all of the different curves of those bones, and continuing down into the middle of your back, into the thoracic spine, down, 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 down to the small of your back, into the lumbar spine, continuing all the way down to that tailbone, to where just your whole spine is illuminated by this dripping light. What curves is it making right now? Are there places where it's tighter together, where your bones are tighter together, and places where maybe there's gaps? Where is that spine? And remember to breathe. How about your elbows? Where are your elbows right now? Are they bent? Are they straight? Are they under a sleeve? Where is your right elbow? Where is your left elbow? And breathe. And lastly, where are the bottoms of your feet? That whole footprint. Where are those feet? Are they tucked under you? Are they just below you? Are they out in front of you? Are they above your head? What way are you sitting right now? And if there were light shining out from the bottoms of your feet, would it be going in two different directions? Would they be shining at each other? Would they be shining the same direction? How bright of light would be shining? Just a dim little glow? Is it like a mag light flashlight? And let's go ahead and take a breath. And now go ahead and sit to where your spine is stacked, where your body's getting support from bone on bone. Continue to breathe to whatever feels comfortable. I'm going to set an intention for us real fast. It is my intention that even though we are all around the world and having very different experiences in life, that as we're gathered as a community today, there's strength in that. There's power in that. And just by being present, we're all contributing in a positive way, that we're able to show up here for ourselves and for each other. And that as we share and allow each other to feel seen and heard and normal, even if the experiences that we're having are overwhelming and scary, and maybe the experience doesn't feel normal, but the ways that we're responding are normal and that they're okay. And you have a place to be while you're in these spaces. And it's my intention that by the end of this hour, everybody gets to leave feeling better. That we feel relief, we feel insight, we feel empowerment, and connected. Okay, let's take one more breath. Alrighty, I'm going to check the chat just to see if you've dropped anything in on things that you would like to tap about. Hi, Dr. Scott. It's great to have you here. Hi, Karen. Oh, laugh out loud. Great. Jackie, hi. Oh, I'm so happy that you're here. Jackie is one of my longest time friends. So we go way, way back, but we live far apart now. So it's always so wonderful to see her name pop up here. I love all of you. You know that. But I wanted to explain to you why she gets that extra, like, wow. It's because we have history. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the trust that I brought up that was emailed in. And we'll tap on that. So go ahead and take this opportunity to drop into the chat whatever it is that you would like to tap on. And if nothing comes up, don't worry. I have plenty of things that I can guide everyone in and tapping, and we'll have a fantastic session. So trust, right? It's a tricky word, and it's very... It usually has a lot of boundaries around it, because trust has been violated. And how much do you trust? And then how is trust earned? And in what ways are we allowed to kind of hold out on that? And what ways are we kind of forced to, well, I have to trust you because I need what it is that you're providing, sort of a thing. It's kind of like saying love, I love tacos. I also love my child, and they're drastically different things in those two statements. So where can we go to start to build a solid foundation with trust? In selecting one thing, you're going to really start to have an understanding of where you feel with trust, and how much resentment or anger or fear, or dissociation exists there. This is not a 10-minute fix, but I can give you a really great head start in this right now, and help you to be aware of how you can start to continue to build this relationship. But it's a dynamic word. Trust is a verb. It's not here's the one-time thing and you can always lean against it in this way. It is more of a relationship than it is a definition, like a hardcore black and white definition. So go ahead and pick something where trust is an issue for you, or something where trust comes up for you as a curiosity, as something that you want to feel better about. If there's nothing that immediately pops up for you, you can conjure up something from the past. Oh, I never trusted this cousin. They always lied. And you can piece it from there. So go ahead and select that for you. We'll start tapping. And the phrasing I'm going to use is, as I consider my relationship with trust. As I consider my relationship with trust, I may feel like it's pretty clear. I don't have much issue here. I may feel like this is a really deep pile of chaos that I'm not sure I'm ready to wade into. And I may feel bits and pieces of both of those statements. However, it is that I currently feel about my relationship with trust, I deeply and completely accept myself. I accept where I am right now with this, even if I really don't know what that means yet. It is okay for me to be where I am right now. It's okay if I feel unsure. It's okay if I feel confused. It's okay if I feel any amount of emotions. I hold space for myself as I explore what it means to trust. I really want to trust. It feels like it would be really relieving if I could find trust. It feels like it would be really peaceful if I could find trust. So even if right now I'm not quite sure how possible I really believe that that is, I choose to hold space for it and to give myself permission to look, to really look and ask questions. And as I hold this space for myself, I deeply and completely accept myself. Trust. My trust. My trust in myself. My trust in my body. My trust in control. My trust of other people. My trust in the universe. My trust in how I'm seen. My trust in how I'm heard. My trust in how I'm valued. Even if this already feels like a lot and I'm having a lot of thoughts, I still choose to allow those to flow for now. It's okay if they pop up, but I'm giving myself permission to not deep dive into any of them for now. I absolutely can, and I can later. But for right now, I give myself permission to remain curious and to think about my relationship just with the word trust. I wonder, what is trust? Well, trust is vulnerable. Trust is belief. Maybe part of me thinks trust is foolish. Maybe part of me feels like trust is a setup. Maybe part of me feels like trust is allowing other people to take control. Maybe part of me believes that trust is hurtful. And even if I have these beliefs and potentially others, I deeply and completely accept myself. I don't think I would choose to feel so negatively about trust. It's very likely that I learned this, and I learned it through overwhelming experiences. But I wonder, how do I not have these feelings? How do I not connect the outcomes that I had with how I currently feel about trust? I really would like to have that connection, but it's been so twisted and it's been so painful. I just don't see how I could really find something that's going to convince me to feel differently. Even though at this moment, I just don't see how I can feel safe and trust. I still choose to be curious. And I give myself permission to be surprised if I find it. Well, I wonder, how is it that I feel safe in general? Well, I feel safe maybe when I have a pretty well known expectation of outcome. I know a person really well, and how that person operates is in a space that feels good to me. And so that feels safe. Or I go to a place and that place has an environment that feels good to me. So that feels safe. But what does that have to do with trust? Well, isn't it true that every single moment has potential? Potential to be different, potential to be the same. And while I can have a really solid expectation, it's never really 100% certain that it's going to be what I'm expecting. So, how is it that I've decided that certain places and people and things are safe and trustworthy and other things are not? What rules do I follow that allow me to say yes or no to trust? My rules. My rules of safety. My rules of trust. My rules of trusting within myself. My rules of trusting my environment. My rules of trusting my things, my rules of trusting people, my rules of trusting society, all of these rules. There's so many rules. There's so many thoughts, and each category is different. That's not bad. It's good to have rules and boundaries and checkpoints. But that makes this feel really complicated. And I'm looking for something simple. I'm looking for this to be easy. I wonder what's an easy way that I can really begin to understand my relationship with trust. Well, maybe even though I'm aware of all of these different aspects of how I trust, even if I've never really thought of it in that way before, I could start with the most intimate interactions, which would be with myself. Do I trust that I'm gonna wake up in the morning? I don't usually worry about that. Do I trust I'm going to be able to sit up, put my legs on the floor, pull my pants on, eat food? It would be really stressful if I thought about these things all the time. I feel really stressful about thinking about trust in these other ways. I wonder, does that then mean trust is a choice? No, that can't be true. Trust is an outcome. Trust is a boundary. Trust is a principle. I don't know about trust being a choice. Even if I've got some resistance to the thought of trust being a choice, I choose to remain open to it. I can always reject it. I don't have to accept it. But maybe I'll hear it out just a little bit more. Okay. If trust is a choice, I wonder, why am I choosing to not have trust in this situation that I'm focusing on right now? Is it because I have made choices, made decisions, made judgments about what it would mean if I trusted and I was wrong? Does it mean if I trust this person or these people and the outcome isn't what I'd hoped for, that I'm dumb, that I'm naive, that I got what I deserved? What is it that I'm holding against myself that right now I'm saying is worth the stress, is worth the mistrust, so that I'm not wrong? Because I don't want to be wrong about trust. That's really painful. Even if I'm just now realizing I really don't want to be wrong about trusting, I deeply and completely accept myself. But I wonder, for right now, staying focused on this one thing, how would it be different for me? How would it be different for me if I just chose to let this be? Maybe I choose to call it trusting. Maybe I just choose to call it neutral ground. I'm not trusting, I'm not mistrusting, I'm just in. What would that allow me to do? Well, maybe I could put down some emotions about it while I have to deal with it. Maybe it would give me some more cognitive space, for thinking things through, for seeing my choices, my potentials. Maybe it would feel alleviating, kind of like the way trust feels alleviating. If I don't have to hold on to the fact that I can't trust. Trust is still a complex thing, and I'm still working out what my relationship with it is. But maybe as I'm working it out, I can give myself permission to learn and for it to be okay and not so heavy and judgmental, to find myself in places that aren't the outcome I was hoping for. It's okay for me to have emotions about what I'm experiencing, but maybe I can release that judgment of whether I trust it or not. And as I continue to discover how I want to approach trust, I can continue to give myself permission to be curious and to try and change and learn. And in a more supportive atmosphere than holding myself to this standard when it's a confusing topic and I'm not even sure how I feel about it all the way. This trust. My relationship with trust. Allowing myself experience, looking for a word. Allowing myself permission to learn without judgment about what trust is and how I choose to feel about it. And as I do this, I deeply and completely accept myself the whole way. Okay, take a breath. So I hope that gave you some dialogue to go into further, should you choose to, but also just some empowerment in how you can feel in things that feel uncertain. Okay, let's see what you guys have written. Okay, trust in myself that I can become as successful as I would like to be. Yes, Richard. And I would say also permission in that. Oh, an unconditional nature of trust or love. Yeah. Unconditional. That's another one of those words, right? That tends to have a tricky relationship in definition. Alrighty. I will give you guys just a few moments to write something in if you would like to. I'm really that word unconditional is sticking out to me. I give myself permission to be surprised. Yeah, so that came from, I have a really stubborn mind, I really enjoy feeling secure and what I'm leaning on to move forward in. And so that was hard for me in allowing the curiosity and the like, well, I'll try this. If I don't like it, I'll try this. And allowing myself to say, oh, but I could be surprised by it, allowed me kind of a backdoor flexibility that I couldn't find face on. So I'm glad that works for you too. Trusting that I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. Yeah, that's another one that has a lot of layers to it. Yeah, let's tap on unconditional. So this word can have roots in a lot of different ways and how you came across it. Your family is supposed to be your people, right? Your unit of who love you always. Parents are supposed to be that way. And that's so rare. It's so rare that it really, really, truly feels that way especially throughout life. There's higher power love, right? Higher power care that's unconditional, that stretches across a lot of different spiritual and religious beliefs. And that too can feel really strained at times, or feels like, well, I see it over there, but I don't see it here. And why am I less worthy? Unconditional can feel really evasive. I know so many people who are like, oh yeah, no, that's true for everybody else, but not for me. So I get skipped. That's not mine. And typically that also has to do with safety. So many of these big, powerful words go back to safety. So if you can think of a situation where unconditional fits for you, if you can't think of something outwards, then inwards, maybe, of having unconditional love for yourself, wanting to have like an unconditional belief in life or in purpose, in value. Those are other potential ways that you could look at this. Okay, so let's go ahead and start tapping. Safety, I don't count. Thinking something was unconditional and finding the contrary. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The reason for that, I'm commenting on what Dr. Scott said. When we've been given the parameter, whether it was intentional or it was just the way that we interpreted an interaction. And it usually happens as children. It usually happens when we're not operating from a logical standpoint, when our subconscious brain is so much stronger than our conscious brain. I mean, it always is, but especially in our younger years, when everything that we're absorbing, it's not going through that conscious logical gate. If what we experience is, let's say, like, I have a father, and my father is a very tough man and doesn't show a lot of affection. But I've noticed that if I'm trying really hard and I'm pushing myself really hard, that he seems proud of me, and I want my dad to be proud of me. So therefore, I need to be striving. And unconditional doesn't fit into that. I can't lean into unconditional love from my father, because that's not what I saw work. What I saw work was I have to be trying. And if it's something that I already have, then I'm not trying, and therefore I don't get what I want, which is that praise from my dad, right? And it's not logical, but it's that way of looking at something that then the brain says, oh, so it's not safe to just say, well, yeah, I know my dad loves me. I can't operate off of that principle. It can't be unconditional, because that's not how I get that happy space between us. So then it's skipped. And that can be true of higher power as well. Sometimes it's wanting to feel in more control of the situation, that it's hard to allow it to be outside of oneself. But it almost always goes back to safety. Oh, good. I'm glad, Karen. Sometimes when I talk a lot, I'm like, oh, is this good? Or are they like, will she just get on with it? Okay, so unconditional. If you've got something in mind, great. If you don't have something, then just focus a lot on the word and the meaning behind it for you. As I consider what unconditional means to me in this circumstance, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even if that statement sounds really weird to say, and I'm not sure why I'm saying I deeply and completely accept myself as I'm considering what unconditional means, I still choose to hold on to that I deeply and completely accept myself. I wonder, what makes unconditional so appealing? What is it about unconditional that feels so important and big and desirable? Maybe it's because it would be consistent and I would never have to question it. It would just always be there and never change. So I wouldn't have to feed it. I wouldn't have to worry about it. I wouldn't have to check to see if it's still there for me. It could just be, and it could just be solid. Well, none of those things sound negative. Unconditional in that way. Sure, sure. That makes sense to want. But I wonder, does unconditional mean not changing? Are those two things the same? Is it possible to be unconditional, but constantly changing? Sure, absolutely. No, not at all. I'm really not sure. That's a tricky question. However, it is that I feel about this thought, I deeply and completely accept myself. And I give myself permission to be curious about all of the answers that come up with this. Well, if unconditional means no conditions, does that mean it's always the same or it's always different? Does it change with me to keep the same dynamic, or does it stay the same and it changes because I change? As I consider the possibilities of what unconditional means to me, I hold space to discover what I'm looking for in it. I wonder, what makes unconditional so important? What is it that I want so badly from something being unconditional? Is it that I want to feel worthy? I want to feel loved. I want to feel cared for. I want to feel safe. I want to feel supported. Maybe what I'm hoping for in something being unconditional is to not be alone. Maybe it's that I want to be able to grow and change and learn and expand and not have to experience loss and lose this. I really want it to always be there. And I really would like that guarantee. Well, I wonder if this is about not being alone and wanting to maintain a connection. What is it that maintains connections? If this is about keeping something, how is it that things are kept? Are things kept by being immobilized? Is that how something is unconditional? Or are things kept, staying in connection, by other means? Maybe it's through attention, through focus, through intention, through nurture, through habit, consistency. There are a lot of ways that connections are kept. So maybe if what I'm seeking for in unconditional is connection, and there are so many ways to approach connection, I've got a really good chance of this situation to be unconditional, even if I change, even if I grow, because there are so many choices and connection points. And however I choose to see unconditional, whatever way feels true for me, it may take me some time to figure it out. And I may try something out, a viewpoint or a principle, and it just may not quite pan out for me. That's okay. I'm allowed to explore this. I give myself permission to explore this. This is important. Of course, I want to find a place that feels true and grounded for me. So it is okay for me to invest time and experience into my quest of unconditional. But how do I know when I found it? I bet I will know by how it feels, because unconditional will feel really great. Once I find it, I bet I will know it by how it feels to me. And as I continue to consider and take action on all of the different aspects of what unconditional is for me, I choose to celebrate and feel really good about every little piece that I find. And I deeply and completely accept myself. Take a deep breath. Nice. Oh, I love that that came out. Thank you so much for that. Let's see, that was Richard, right? She said that. Okay, that was, yeah, successful and permission. Was it Dr. Scott? It was Dr. Scott. Okay, I just wanted to say thank you to you with your name. Thank you, Dr. Scott, for that word. This is a great start for trust for me. Yay! I'm so glad to hear that. Okay, let's see. We have enough time for another short little tap. So let's go from a positive standpoint. Not that those were, we've gone deep today, but more in like a philosophical way, right? It's such a fantastic tap. How about let's go with, I want to believe in a good year. I want to believe that this is going to be a good year for me. I've heard a lot of that around me, and it's almost being said in a way of like, "Well, good year," woo-hoo. More than like from a place of trust or empowerment. So, in case that's a space that you find yourself too, let's tap on that a little bit. Okay. As I think about this year and all of the possibilities that it holds, I have feelings about that. A whole array of feelings, and they may be really positive and they may be negative. And whether my feelings are positive or negative or both, I deeply and completely accept myself. It is okay for me to feel about my future. It's okay for me to feel about this year. And I really don't know how it's going to go. I have hopes. I have things that feel pretty solid. But the truth is, I really don't know yet. So if I don't know yet, I wonder, what do I want to choose? Where do I want my focus to be? And can I give myself permission to put energy into that, to trust in that, even if it's something that right now is hard for me or something that I don't see physically? It's not manifested yet, like maybe not at all. Can I give myself permission to throw it love anyway, to hold space for it anyway? Well, maybe. I don't know. I guess I could, but I think I have to judge myself for it. I need to judge how wise that is and how long of time I can really hold that kind of a space before I'm foolish or I'm not facing reality. Um, Even if I'm feeling some of these feelings about allowing myself to visualize the way I would like to, I deeply and completely accept myself. It's okay to have these pushbacks, but it's also okay to release them. And sure, I get to be logical and grounded in my actions. But isn't it also okay for me to just feel really good about possibilities? No. Yes. Sometimes no, and sometimes yes. Wherever it is that I am on allowing myself this permission, I hold space to figure out how to allow it more. Because even if all I get out of holding this space and holding on to these beliefs is feeling good, isn't that enough? I mean, of course, I want to manifest everything that I think about that would just be so amazing to have in my life. Of course, of course. But if it doesn't happen, does that mean I have to send back all of those good thoughts, all of those happy feelings? No, no. I don't have to berate myself. I don't have to feel foolish. I don't have to be super depressed about it. Of course, I can feel sad. Of course, I can feel however I feel. But I am allowed to feel good. I am allowed to dream wildly with abandon and smile about it. I'm allowed to feel really happy. And it's okay for that to be enough for now. I'll hold space for things to continue to unfold and allow this year to be magical. But what I have is this moment. The year will come, it will unfold day by day as it always does. But right now, I have this moment. And in this moment, I can choose to let it be magical because I can feel good. And I can feel good just by thinking about something good. And that's pretty amazing. So, as I hold space for really positive outcomes, I also hold space for this positive outcome right now of just having a really great thought. This year of possibilities, this year of manifestations, this moment right now, this moment with joyful thoughts, this moment of pure energy, allowing myself permission to feel really good, allowing that really good permission to be my magic. And as I allow myself these magical moments as much, as often, as big as I want them to be, and I hold space for this year to unfold and manifest beautiful things, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, let's take one more breath. Thank you for that. Oh, that felt really good. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope that this has been a great tap for you. Please always feel free to email me if you have questions. A lot of times I take your questions and our conversations and turn them into videos. I always post a video pre recorded on Fridays on the channel. So you can always connect with me there as well. Email me if there's something you want to tap on that you don't want to bring up in front of everyone. Again, my email is amanda@eftuniverse.com. Have a beautiful week. I will be thinking about you and sending you so much love and joy. And I hope that I get to see you again next week. Take care. Mwah. Love ya.